Hello everyone, I welcome you all in the second part of our CUET PG 2025 question paper analysis. So those of you are preparing for CUET PG 2026 English Literature exam, do like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel to get to know the question paper of CUET PG 2025. As you all know, in the first part we have discussed the questions from we have discussed 25th questions of CUET PG 2025 English Literature exam from 1 to 25, and in this session we will also discuss 25 questions from the question number 26 to 50. So those of you are preparing for CUET PG 2026 English Literature exam, watch this video to till the end to get to know the important questions that have been asked in your exam. And without further delay, let's begin the session. The 26th number question of CUET PG 2025 English Literature exam was: arrange the following statements elements of a story in chronological order as they typically occur in the plot structure from the earliest to the latest. We all know in all stories there is some pattern, and the stories are divided into different parts, and the story and the action of the stories are divided into different parts, and the answer of 26 question will be option 2, because it was exposition that come first in any story. After exposition comes rising action. After rising action comes climax. Climax is the highest point of any story, and it is resolution. Resolution or the conclusion comes at the end of any story. So the answer of 26 question number will be option 2. The 27th question is: which among the following autobiographies by Indian women is the earliest? These are the four important autobiographies of four important Indian women authors. The first autobiography is Ramabai Ranade, Our Life Together. The second autobiography is Rasa Sundar Devi's My Life. Third autobiography is Urmila Pawar, The Weave of My Life. And the fourth autobiography is by Lakshmi Tilak, The Memoirs of a Spirited Wife. And here the answer will be option 2. Rasa Sundari Devi's autobiography My Life will be earliest, and this autobiography is published in the year 1876. The 28th question is: which of the following statements are correct in the context of Coleridge's understanding of the terms fancy and imagination? Fancy and imagination are two important terms which is introduced by Samuel Taylor Coleridge in his work Biographia Literaria, and his work Biographia Literaria was published in the year 1817, and this work is divided into 24 parts. And in this work, chapter 13 and chapter 14 contains Coleridge's concept of fancy and imagination. And here is four options from fancy and imagination. The options are: option A is fancy is a mechanical faculty of the human mind. Option B is imagination is an organic faculty of the human mind that dissolve dialects, oppositions. Option C is fancy is mimetic and imagination is creative. And option D is fancy is real poetic creativity. The answer will be option 2. And here the correct statements are A, B and C. The option 4 will be incorrect, because fancy is not real poetic creativity, is an imaginative poetic creativity. The 29th number question is: which of the following book is not part of the Tamil text Silabathikaram? Silabathikaram is the most important text of Tamil literature, which is written by Iranga Adigal, and this work is divided into different parts like Fuhur, Madurai, Vensi, and And the answer of 29th number question will be option 1, Kollam. The text Silapatikaram is divided into different parts, and these parts are Puhar, Madurai, and Vensi. But the but Kollam is not the part of the text Silapatikaram. The 30th number question is from matching, and in the left side there is actual or original names of the different authors, and in the right side is pen names or pseudonym which they have used in their different works. And the answer of 29th number question will be option 2. The J.K. Rowling used the pseudonym Robert Galbraith, Marian Evans used the pseudonym George Eliot, and Agatha Christie used the pseudonym Mary Westmacott, and it was Charlotte Bronte, he used the pseudonym Currer. We all know different authors use different pseudonyms which are very important in CUET PG exam. So students, those of you are preparing for CUET PG exam, please read different pseudonyms of different authors. The 31st number question is which of the following statements are incorrect? Here is 4 options or 4 statements, and these 4 statements are Kabira was a Nirguna Bhakti poet. Option 2 is Alwars and Narayanas are Bhakti poets from South India, and Lal Dit was a Bhakti poet from Rajasthan. Option 4 is Shankara Deva wrote his Bhakti songs known as Borgit in the Braj. The answer will be option 3, because Lal Dit was a Bhakti poet not from Rajasthan. Lal Dit was a Bhakti poet from Kashmir. 32nd number question is which of the following statements are true with respect to Aristotle's classical analysis of tragedy in his Poetics? We all know Poetic is the most important critical works by the ancient philosopher Aristotle, and in this work he talked about different aspects of tragedies. And here is 4 options, and the options are tragedy is a mimesis. Option B is second intention to tragedy intends to accomplish the catharsis of emotions like pity and fear. And option C is the tragic hero is an everyday person with ordinary moral growth. And option D is it is hamartia which often leads the tragic heroes into a state of suffering. The answer will be option A, B and D, and the answer will be option 1. A, B and D are correct answer, because the option C, the tragic hero is an everyday person with ordinary moral worth, is not correct. A tragic hero should be a person of great worth or person of higher eminence. 33 number question is arrange the following literary periods movements in chronological order beginning with the earliest. These are the some of the important movements and periods of English literature, and the first movement in English literature is Restoration Age. We all know Restoration begins with the end of the era of Oliver Cromwell in the year 1660. After Restoration comes Age of Sensibility. Age of Sensibility started in 17th century, early 17th century, and after Age of Sensibility come Arts for Art's Sake. Art for Art's Sake is late 19th century movement, and the last movement that comes is Harlem Renaissance. Harlem Renaissance came in early 1920s and 1930s, so the answer will be option 2, B, A, C, B, D. The 34th number question is sequence these Nobel Prize winners in chronological order of they having received the award. The authors who got the Nobel Prize in English literature are very important in your CUET PG exam. So please read the authors who got the Nobel Prize for their different works. The author among these authors who got the first Nobel Prize was W.B. Yeats. W.B. Yeats got the Nobel Prize in the year 1923. After W.B. Yeats, it was T.S. Eliot who got the Nobel Prize in 1948. After T.S. Eliot, it was Samuel Beckett who got the Nobel Prize in 1969, and it was Bob Dylan who got the Nobel Prize in 2016. So the answer will be option second. The 35th number question is, which of the following is not a work by R.K. Narayan? We all know R.K. Narayan is the most important novelist of Indian literature, and it was R.K. Narayan who, along with Mulkraj Anand and Rajarao, known as the Indian trio. And the novel Untouchable is not the work by R.K. Narayan. Untouchable is a novel by Mulkraj Anand which is published in the year 1935. And the other novels, The Guide, Malgudi Days and English Teacher, are the important novels by R.K. Narayan. The 36th number question is, here is some of the important literary genres and their definition. The first literary genre is sonnet. We all know sonnet is introduced in England in the medieval period, and sonnet is a poem of 14 lines which is written in different meters. After sonnet come lyric. We all know lyric, a poem uttered by a single speaker who expresses his thought or emotion. After lyric come epic. Epic is a long verse narrative on a serious subject. And two of the important epic in English literature are Iliad and Odyssey. And after epic comes elegy. We all know elegy is a poem which is written on the death of someone or mourns someone's death. And some of the important elegies are Matthew Arnold's Tiresias, John Milton's Lycidas. After an elegy is a formal sustained lament in verse. So the answer of 36 number question will be option 3. The 37th number question is, which of the following is not true about the Enlightenment age? We all know Enlightenment is one of the most important movement in 17th century, and this movement is also known as the Age of Reason, and some of the important proponent of the movement Enlightenment are Immanuel Kant, Thomas Hobbes, John Locke. Answer of this question is encouraged exploration of supernatural in literature. Encourage exploration of supernatural in literature is not the characteristic of the Enlightenment movement, but the other options are like Jonathan Swift and Voltaire are prominent authors of the age. The age paved the way for the rise of the novel, and the fourth option is it is known for many satirical writings. The 38th number question is, naturalism we all know is one of the most important movements in literature where nature is given the supreme importance, and the naturalism is a depiction of life determined by heredity and social environment. The answer for the question will be option 4. The 39th number question is, which of the following elements of drama was termed as mythos by Aristotle? We all know in Aristotle's Poetics, Aristotle talks about theory of tragedy, and in his description of different elements of tragedy, Aristotle told that Aristotle termed mythos Aristotle terms plot as mythos and characters as ethos. And the answer for 39th number question will be option 3. Mythos is termed as the plot. The 40th number question is, choose the correct option about Dayanand Saraswati. Here is four options is given about Dayanand Saraswati, and the options are option A, Dayanand Saraswati wrote the books Satyaratha Prakash. Option B is Back to Vedas was the call given by Dayanand Saraswati, and option C is Arya Samaj was started by Dayanand Saraswati in Andhra Pradesh, and the option fourth is Dayanand Anglo-Vedic school were established based on his philosophy and teachings? The answer will be option 4. A, B and D are correct. C. Arya Samaj was started by Dayanand Saraswati in Andhra Pradesh is not correct because Dayanand Saraswati started Arya Samaj in Maharashtra. 41 number question is identify the correct theme and ideas that are explored in modernist literature. We all know modernism begins after the end of the reign of Queen Victoria in the year 1901, and some of the important characteristics of modernism are fragmentation and disillusionment, rejection of traditional narrative forms, and a focus on the representation of the alienated self and the linear of time. The answer will be option 4. The linearity of time is not the characteristic of modernism. The 42nd number question is in the right side is from matching, and in the list 1 there is some of the important literary terms like metaphor, hyperbole, oxymoron and irony, and in the right side is there is given definition of these literary terms, and the answer will be option 4. Metaphor is a comparison between two things without using words of comparison like example, like or as. Hyperbole, an exaggerated statement or claim not meant to be taken literally. An oxymoron is a figure of speech in which two contradictory or opposing words, ideas are used together to create a paradoxical statement. An irony is a literary device where the implied meaning differs sharply from what is ostensibly expressed. The 43 number question is shimmering snow on the southern slope of the Shimla hills is an example of, this is an example of alliteration because here the alphabet S is repeated many times in this sentence, and the answer will be option 4. The 44th number question is arrange the following Nobel Prize winners in chronological order of they being awarded, beginning with the earliest. Here is 4 important authors who got the Nobel Prize for their contribution in English literature, and the first author who got Nobel Prize among this author is William Golding. William Golding got the Nobel Prize in the year 1983. After William Golding, it was Ule Soyinka who got the Nobel Prize in 1886. And after Ole Soyinka, James Coetzee got the Nobel Prize in 2003, and it was Doris Lessing who got the Nobel Prize in 2007. The 44th number question is which figure of speech is used in the opening lines of Spenser's 57th number sonnet, that is sweet warrior, when shall I have peace with thee? We all know Edmund Spenser is one of the most important poets in Elizabethan England, and his 57th number sonnet is sweet warrior, when shall I have peace with thee is an example of oxymoron. 45th number question, the answer of 45th number question will be oxymoron and the option 2. The 46 number question is also from matching, and here in the left side there is some of the important sonneteers of England, and in the right side there is sonnet sequence or sonnet rhymes which is given by them, and it was Petrarch who introduced the sonnet in English literature, and the rhyming scheme of Petrarchan sonnet is AB AB CD 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 CD, and the answer will be option 4. The 47th number question is also from matching, and in this matching in the left side there is some of the important poems, and in the right side about the authors who wrote these poems. The poem A Freedom in the option A, the poem Freedom to Slave is written by Henry Vivian de Roggio, and the poem A Poem and option B A Poem for Mother is written by Robin S. Nangam, and option C Of Mothers Among Other Things is written by A.K. Ramanujan, and the option D Grandfather is a poem by Jayanta Mahapatra. The 48th number question is also from matching, and this matching is from the important playwright of the postmodern literature, and in the left side there is important playwrights and the right side here is some of the important plays which is written by these playwrights. And the first or option A is John Osborne. John Osborne wrote the play Look Back in Anger. After John Osborne come Arnold Wesker. Arnold Wesker wrote the play Chicken Soup with Barley. And option C, Harold Pinter wrote the play The Birthday Party, and it was Tennessee Williams who wrote the work The Glass Menagerie. And the answer for the 48th number question will be option 2. The 49th number question is arrange these Indian writers in chronological order with reference to their year of birth, starting with the earliest. Here is some of the four important Indian writers, and now we will arrange them in according to their age. The writer who was first born among these writers are Sarath Chattopadhyay. After Sarath Chattopadhyay comes Harivansh Rai Bachchan, and after Harivansh Rai Bachchan it was Ismat Chugtai, and the last author who born among this author is Gurdial Singh Rahi. The 50th question is which of the followings are Ezekiel's poem? We all know Ezekiel is one of the most important poets in Indian poetry, and his poems are Enterprise, Goodbye Party for Miss Puspa T.S. Here is the four poems which is written by different authors, and the poem Enterprise is written by after Enterprise option B My Grandmother House is one of the most important poems by Kamala Das, and option C Goodbye Party for Miss Puspa T.S. is also a poem by Nissim Ezekiel, and option D On Killing is a poem by Jeev Patel. So the answer of this 50th number question will be option 2. And these are the important questions that have asked in CUET PG 2025 English Literature exam. So those of you are preparing for CUET PG 2026 English Literature exam, do like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel to get to know all the important questions that have asked in your exam. So do like, share and subscribe our channel. In our channel you will get 1000 most expected questions for CUET PG 2026 exam. So thank you everyone for watching this video.